2, 1.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Orange County Funding Corporation's the Finance Committee. We're going to start with, today is Wednesday, August 16th, 2023, and we will call the meeting to order and we'll ask for a pledge of allegiance.
Yes, flag is this way. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call of officers.
Yes.
Not roll call of
Our committee members, Dean Tambori,
here.
James Rinaldi,
Here.
Mark Green.
Here.
Okay, all three committee members are present. Also myself, Bill Fioravanti, staff, along with Marty Barras, and we have our new AV consultant here, Acquisition Marketing. Mr. Jose Rojas is with us this evening, so that's our attendance.
Welcome. And welcome Shannon, right? Shannon.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, and Shannon Manise from RBT CPAs. Thank you. Yes, I have our CFO.
The proof of notice, we have that, and the minutes, approval of the minutes. We did not have a meeting in July, but will be the approval of the minutes for June 21st, 2023 of the OCFC Funding Corporation Finance Committee minutes.
We just need a motion to approve the minutes, unless anyone has any. We should do that anyway in discussion at the end if need be, but we need a motion.
So moved.
We get a second?
Second.
Second, Green.
Any questions? Motion to accept.
All in favor?
All in favor? Aye.
Okay, 3 yes. Motion carries. All right, on to new business.
Approval of the June, July financials that are attached. We're going to have Shannon review.
Yep, Shannon, we're starting with OCFC, so if you could just go through June, July financials with the committee.
All right, so for June, for OCFC, if you look at the budget to actual, the main thing there is that you have almost $19,000 of interest earnings, and that's because the CDs matured and were rolled over to new CDs. So, and you had $439 of insurance expense. So overall, you had net income of $18,445. So it was a good month. And if you go to the bank statement activity on the next page, you have $1.8 million approximately in cash and CDs as of June 30th. And do you want me to go over the loans?
Yeah, briefly.
Okay. So
Just to see this.
out of the loans, you have 36 that are paid in full, 13 that are still partial. So your balance for June was $68,393, and of those 30,000 still with no payment to date. The next page is for July. Do you want to approve June first before I go into July, or do you want to do them both at the same time?
Why don't we go through them?
Yeah.
What we do first.
Okay. So in looking at July, there was a $2,500 application from Lincoln Avenue Capital for the bond fee, and then just your interest, and again, the insurance expense. So $2,246.39 of total profit for the month. And your bank activity, you had $1,860,128 in cash and CDs. And your loan balance on the next page is $67,982. So you had a little bit of principal pay down from June to July.
And if I could,
$3,000.
okay, and if I could just note the application fee, as Shannon said, it's Lincoln Capital, Lincoln Avenue Capital. They sent us an application fee with an application draft, and they're actually revising some portions of it, so they're not presenting this evening, but we still have to check, of course, so that's why you're seeing it, having not seen the actual application yet.
And that's related to which project?
It's related to a housing project, actually, in the Wallkill, in the town of Wallkill. 2 such projects actually will be coming to us in September.
And that's the pro CFC.
Okay. Any questions from the committee? Any of the financials?
No. Other than interest, it's amazing. That's fantastic. So with that, I'll ask for approval of the June, July financials and the payables. Really wasn't, right? I mean, wasn't a whole lot, but.
No, correct.
And the payables. So let's just, we can do them all.
Yes.
Yeah. Approval of the COVID-19, the resilience loan update, certificate of deposit investment option, and checking accounts moved from the Chase to the TD.
So if I could, if we could have approval of the first three items, the CD, let's discuss separately, and the checking account, actually, we had a busier agenda originally, so we took a couple things off, including that, and actually Kelly wanted to do a little bit more diligence in that subject, so really just the first three, and then we'll get into the CD.
Okay. I'll make a motion for the approval of the June, July financials, approval of the June, July, August payables, and approval of the COVID-19 resilience loan fund update.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Very nice, motion carries. And I think I misspoke, the CD, we're not looking at CDs for OCFC, it's just for OCIDA. So that is why we took that one off. That's everything on here for OCFC. Want to
Okay.
move to adjourn this
Yeah.
meeting?
Motion to, I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good. And OCIDA,
Okay.
should we skip the first couple items?
Mm-hmm. Other than the, we still have to do the roll call, right? We're not gonna so again, welcome everybody to the Industrial Development Agency Finance Committee. It's Wednesday, August 16th, 2023, approximately 4:35 p.m. And roll call of officers for the Finance Committee members.
Sure. Dean Canberry,
Present.
James Rinaldi,
Present.
Mark Green,
Present.
all three members are present. Bill Fioravanti, Marty Borat, staff, and again, Acquisitions Marketing is here, as well as Shannon Medici from RBT.
Obviously, the proof of notice is attached, that's been done correctly. The minutes, so we're looking for a motion for approval of the minutes for June 21st, 2023 for the Finance Committee.
So moved.
Thank you, Jim. Sal, I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Three ayes. Motion carries. On to new business.
So we're looking for the approval, we'll have Shannon review those.
Okay, Shannon, if you could go through OCIDA, June and July.
So on the June budget first, actually, we had $4,500 in new application fees. That's $5,000 for the Slate Hill property, $5,000 for OC Hospitality, and $2,500 for Goshen Logistics Royal Wines. And then you had, again, maturing fees, so that being the IDA, $110,000 in interest for the month. So your income was $124,000 there. Your expenses were pretty standard. The only thing that really stands out is your marketing and PR. You had, of course, your monthly Mid-Hudson, but you also had capacity, public relations, and PR in there as well. A couple membership fees for Vision HB, Sam, and the event, which was $610 for the month. And then your legal pass-through was Southern Glacier for the $2,500 there. And the only others, the rest of it's all just standard monthly expenses. So at the end, you had $58,728 in expenses. So the month of June, you had income, total net income of $65,587.94.
Shannon, can I ask you about the legal pass-through? I know we had one of our applicants that's appearing before us tonight again. They sent a check, rather than sending it separately, we asked the applicants, they sent one, so we had to pass through. But that's not this one. Is that the same thing, where that applicant, who I'm not gonna mention again, that Shannon mentioned, they sent us one check, so that's why we're splitting it?
This was just an application fee, so that's where this one went. I don't know who you.
I guess my question is, aren't we not doing the legal pass-through anymore, where they're remitting $2,500 directly to the attorneys and?
That is the way that they're supposed to be doing it, but I don't know, you'd have to ask Marty or Kelly.
Okay.
He brought in a
I know.
$5,000 check.
But this was.
Yeah, I know he did, but that's not who she said this was. She said this was Project Barney, Project Liberty, whatever the second one is. Anyway, okay, I don't want to get hung up. I just want to make sure that we are generally
That is
not
what's
passing
supposed to be
through.
happening going forward, is that they're supposed to be paying them directly and not passing it through the IDA.
Yeah, I think we're learning we have to do a better job of training them, reminding them, please make sure it's 2 separate checks. So we're ironing that out.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we can return them from this point forward, that's how we want to do it.
I think we'll kind of try and work on, I think, coaching them, I think, so that they get it right the first time. All right, thanks, sorry.
Okay, yeah.
Carry on, please.
The only last thing,
So
is
the
that
next-
just do me a favor, and just repeat the total income, so for people who want to see it, the total income for the month.
The total net income for June was $65,587.94.
Thank you, I apologize, I thought you said 55,000. Thanks.
Very good.
That's
Okay,
okay, on my screen, I can't see anybody, I only see myself crossing, and I see Bill's picture, so I can't see you guys, so it's hard to kind of read the room.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Thank
we
you.
kind of have a different setup today, and we're continuing to
Okay.
improve that, so, just, yeah, okay. So, all right, on
Yeah,
to.
so I'm just
the
kind of
accounts.
going off of voice right now.
Exactly, thanks Shannon. Okay, on to our bank accounts and investments.
Okay, so, yep, so between the checking accounts, the escrow, and the CDs, the IDA for the month of June had $9,749,657 in the bank, so, strong position there.
Great.
And then, so budget for actual for July for the IDA was pretty standard. There's not anything really out of the norm, other than we had some professional fees for Francis Roth, which was Royal in OC Hospitality, I believe. And then your marketing and PR was up slightly from Mid-Hudson because it's based on, the week, not the actual month, so you had an extra week in there. And then your shovel ready program, so you had $40,000 for Delaware engineering. So overall, for the month of July, you actually had an operating loss of $87,983.92 because you just didn't have the income coming in for this month, but last month kind of made up for it.
Any questions on that part before we get into payables?
No.
All right, Shannon, if you stay with us just one more minute, actually, all right, as I go through this, just in case a question pops up.
Yeah, I got my folks open, so if you have questions, go ahead.
Terrific, thank you. So on the next page, page 7, is our payables. This is for July, OCIDA. Really, everything is pretty standard. You see what has been in there. Rent, advertising, cleaning, IT support. You see all the breakout on any credit card charges. Our staff line for payroll, our phone lease, pest control, which continues to unfortunately be something we need. Our audio video, it's the last time you'll see that retainer fee for 88 Studio. We're now working with acquisitions, and really those charges are more on a meeting by meeting basis. Our legal fees, Bousquet Holstein, our CPA fees to RBT, and land and phones are under there. That's our local labor monitoring, both of the firms that we work with, you see. So a grand total for July of $13,996.50 under the monthly contracts. The next page is just all other, which is because we have been paying, if you recall, you gave us permission to pay all our recurring bills while we didn't have a meeting last month. And then again, all other, the partnership, that's for a dinner I went to, lock installation in Warwick, and as Shannon pointed out, another payment to Delaware Engineering. We're just nearing the end of the payment for phase 1 of the shovel-ready project. So that all other category, the grand total is $40,255.
Like the expense for Delaware isn't, that's not.
That's just about done. Yeah, exactly. So that was a total of 160 for that project. And you see the breadth of data that we had as a result of that project. So, all right. Actually, you did June, but not July, right, Shannon? Income statement. We did. Now I muted. Did I mute it? You're muted, actually, Shannon. We didn't hear any of that, sorry.
I did June and July, I just didn't do July bank.
Okay, right. Okay, let's jump to that.
Okay, so between the cash operating accounts and the escrows and the CDs, the IDA had $9,721 and $360 for cash and bank and CDs.
Very good. Any questions for Shannon?
No.
All right, so we approved those. And we,
You're gonna go over August bills next?
yes, I just want to see where we are in approvals. So do those at the
So
end.
it's for motion, you're saying, to accept them?
Yeah, do you want to do them for each month? You want to do them together? You want to just lump it together? We'll do
I would
July and
just
August,
go
let's do
along.
that for all financials.
Yeah.
Let me go through August payables then. Again, similar, Xerox, cleaning, water, which we do pay for water and sewer to the town of Warwick, the accelerator site there, though we are reimbursed by the tenants, our subtenants there, so we bill them later for CAM charges with that. ITC is our IT. Credit card again, as you see, total for the M&T Visa, our staff line payroll, phone system again, and pest control. That's page 12. And then our local labor monitoring, like Loki Brill, who's doing some kind of legacy projects that they're finishing up. Buske Holstein on our attorney fees. And then you're seeing for monthly contracts a total of $9,347.25. Page 14 is DLSIT. So, you know, you're going to see this in the next few months. We're trying different arrangements with different vendors and different contractors, and we're finding ways to continue to both improve the quality of the service from that, as well as make it more cost effective. So that's what you're seeing with acquisitions coming in, doing AV. Same thing with IT. We still have many of the same vendors, but we're just kind of limiting what they're doing. DLS is now our kind of on-site tech support for desk support, email support, our network and server and all of that. And actually, rather than a retainer, which we were paying before, they charge us when they come in and do something. So it's a really nice fit. So you're going to see that DLS. Dave Perrin is a gentleman who has done work for us. When we had kind of the emergency situation, he came in and helped us as well when the network was down. So you're going to see that again. Another installment for Delaware Engineering. Next is our B guy, as you see in the notes. Thank you to Mr. Rinaldi for recommending him, because boy, I really sought out a number of local B folks, and they weren't very responsive, and Jim chimed in and gave us his person, and he was terrific actually. So he has a few more bites on him now after going to the Warwick site, but he eliminated and removed an enormous hive of honeybees, which are endangered, so they have to be properly removed, and he found wasps in the wall within the interior wall of Scripted Fragrances, our subtenant, the candle maker in Warwick. So it's still $600 for him, but well worth it. He made a few trips out there. He was terrific, so I appreciate the help there. And you know, thanks for supporting paying him, because we'd like to pay him right away on that. And last is Fly. We just had a problem with our fax line. It was a real rigmarole between Spectrum, Frontier, and our IT vendor guiding us. So we used for a month this Clearfly service. It gave us kind of virtual fax line for the month, and now we have it resolved. It was something that was not our fault. It was our number was taken away actually and used somewhere else, and we had to get it back. So that's what is in there. But for the all other category, a grand total of $26,510.53. So those are payables for July and August.
Okay. Well, for a motion for approval of June, July financials and approval of June, July, and August payables.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
3
Thank
ayes,
you.
motion carries. All right, shall we get into the CD option?
Sure.
So the this is a sideline business for it, and now it's actually lucrative, so it's not really helping the marketing, the environment for development, the rates, but at least we're making some hay.
Should we have Shannon's and Shannon's?
Thank you, for sure. Shannon, we're gonna let you go,
She can't.
all right?
Okay.
Thanks for joining us as always.
Have a good night.
Thanks, thank
You too, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Let's go, I'm walking out of here. You play.
Yeah, no, thank you, yeah, exactly. So, the CD, so we've been making a number of investments. We do have next month a few large CDs that you're seeing in our accounts listing there that will mature, and we'll decide at that time. Right now, we're following up on your discussion from June, where you wanted to make sure we didn't leave any excess funds in the checking account, that if it's in there, we're not need it for our cash flow purposes, that we're investing that. So we have just over 1.3 CNIDA, so we were looking, talked to Mr. Green in advance, and we looked, got a survey of rates in it for $350,000 was the term, or the dollar amount investment I gave them, and then I asked for various terms, 3 month, 6 month, and 1 year. You have that in front of you. There is another institution that provided some rates I don't have on here, but I'll explain that after. But you see what the, kind of what the rate environment is right now. So I'm going to kick it to you, Mr. Green. You want to follow up on that?
Well, I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
So, one, we have this Connect One. Sorry, that's next year. Never mind.
Yeah.
Connect One and TD are both next year. So, I mean, honestly, I guess the question is this: we have, on my sheet, I see 1.7. You say 1.3.
Yeah.
Am I? You were.
No, you are right. That's currently is 1.7. We were looking at it.
So I guess the question is this: would you, and I'm asking you this,
Yeah.
would you be able to run the business until December 31st on $733,000?
Kind of doing a quick cash flow, in my head. I don't see why we wouldn't. If we had something unusual, say shovel ready, if we were looking to make some sort of investment, I think that's early for that. Worst, we really needed the money. Worst case, I guess we could take a penalty on something, but I don't foresee that, frankly. I think that would be fine through the end of the calendar year.
I mean, I'm looking at budgets and I don't think I've ever seen, that would be roughly $250,000 a month for the next 3 months.
Exactly.
So if we realistically feel like $750,000 gets us to December 31st, then I think my suggestion would be to take $1 million and put it in, personally, I would put it 6-month Lakeland. It would mature, end of March of next year.
Mm-hmm.
But always open for discussion. I think more a question of, well, what do you guys think?
Well, I think related to the expenses that Bill would be correcting me, we haven't seen, even if something came up for shovel ready or whatever, it typically takes time for these things to happen. So I think we're fine with that amount in the bank that I've seen. And we have to be, we'd be remiss not to take advantage of these rates as much as we possibly can. So that's, and it's for the 6 months, which again leaves us a little bit of a leeway for, coming back and when money's rotating. I think it's a good idea.
Well, and and I want to make sure. So if we did 6 months, that would come due roughly March 31st. We had this $3 million coming due, on roughly December 31st. You know what I mean? So we're staggered basically every 3 months.
And that's what we were looking to do.
Right. This way we would never be exposed, and have everything locked up for a long period of time in case something came up.
Sure.
We only have to deal with 3 months at a time. So
Yeah, we're maximizing the opportunity. For the
I think this is what we were trying to achieve, so, if that makes sense.
Yes.
My only question is that those rates seem low compared to what's out there in the last week or two. marketplace.
unfortunately, we talked yesterday. I think I've been more definitive in past meetings, and I've been, well, either lucky or good, whichever one you want to call it. I don't have a definitive idea as to what's going to happen in the next 3 to 6 months.
No, I'm saying if we invested today, at these rates,
Yeah, well, but these rates are indicative of the uncertainty of what's going on out there. And I think there's a growing number of people that are saying, particularly going into the next 3 to 6 months, would the Fed start cutting rates because it's going into a presidential election year?
when, have we agreed that we're gonna put $1 million out? Is that?
Well, I did, I mean, I think I did, I think
Yeah.
Mark
I would
did.
like to, we haven't decided. You
But
didn't-
yeah, no, you didn't, I mean,
Yeah, I agree, but what I'm getting at is, we're gonna put $1 million out. Are we saying that we're going to lock in some rates within the next week, in the next month?
Well,
How are you guys? Thank you guys for everything you're doing.
Thanks, sir.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
thank you.
I apologize. So the question is, do we want to lock in for 6 months?
No, what are we gonna do with the $1 million? When are we going to put it out in the marketplace? Tomorrow, or a week from now, a month from now?
Tomorrow.
Between tomorrow and a week from now.
All right, so.
These rates we collected yesterday and the day before.
But I think what you're saying is that you think you've seen this higher, a little bit higher rates
Yeah,
than
the
these.
Wall Street Journal in the last week has all been showing over 5.25 or more.
Or are they institutions that we can invest?
In the journal, I mean, I'd have to look and see what's
I'm
included
not
and what's
saying we
not.
should move there.
Yeah,
We're comfortable with who we
you're just
have.
doing a sanity check on if these numbers are,
Yeah.
you know,
No, I
where the
want
market
to
is.
make sure that.
You know, we've experienced where we call them, they give you a rate, and we say, no, we want something better. You know, we see what's in the marketplace, give us more.
I think what would be, and you mentioned that a number of times, so the way we've been doing, kind of the method we've been doing is putting a little RFP out almost, where I put it out to all applicable banks and say, what's your best rate for this dollar amount at this rate? So we have that. So what I think would be, reasonable for us to do is to rather than go negotiate with all of them, we choose the highest one, then I go and do that and say, give us your best rate.
But after,
I think it's, you don't need it, I don't think at this point, no one's doing
but
it.
after they do that, I think a call should be made and say, well, that's pretty good, but we want a little bit more. And we've done that and
We
gotten
have.
more.
We have,
That's my take on it.
Always, you are always correct when it comes to that. I guess my question to you is, you said M&T passed on bidding,
they did.
and I kind of have it under, I think I know why. Did they say why?
They didn't say why, no. They did last time, also, a couple months ago.
Because, and one of the things that I think is happening
Yeah.
is that it's a supply and demand, and they have enough
Yeah.
cash coming in, so
Right.
they're starting to ratchet back on what they're willing to give.
Also, the larger banks are being told that they need to have more reserves, more this, they're putting the arm on it right now. They don't want anything to happen.
Mhm.
So they're telling the larger banks, look, you have to cut back. You can't lend, your percentages aren't, they were good, but now we want them better. So a lot of the banks are cutting back on their loaning portfolios. The smaller banks, the community banks are doing real well because all of a sudden they're getting the fluff off from all this because their numbers are good. But that's why you see banks like that, among other things, saying, we're not interested right now.
And the community banks aren't under the same kind of,
No, most of them have the cash reserves and all of their percentages are up there because they're always more conservative. But because of that, people were coming to them to borrow because people want to borrow. Borrowing $30 million is nothing. People want to borrow $100, $300 million. They can only deal with these banks. So the community banks are in a smaller range. Some of them are. Some of the community banks have the name community bank, but they're big guys.
Mm.
In any event, they're more stable and more secure than people like this. And that's why they're out there looking right now, they're looking to lend, and they're looking to give these rates so they can lend more. You know, you give them the money, what are they doing with it? They're lending it, they're giving you
Right.
4, they're lending it right now, sure, they're lending it at 1 or 2 over prime. Prime is pretty high right now.
Right, but the point I'm trying to make is, yes, in a theoretical world, I just don't know how much they are lending. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's almost an opposite type of scenario, because the housing market is starting to really freeze up as far as having people put houses on the market. So you're having a supply and demand situation is what I'm saying, which is why I think we're seeing these rates creep a little bit down. Because I think they have too much supply of cash sitting and they can't utilize it. And so therefore, they don't want to be put in a position where if they can't turn around and lend it out, if they don't foresee them being able to get 7-8% and make that 3% VIG, they're going to start giving out less for people depositing. But 100%, I would say we've all agreed we should do $1 million. Do we all agree it should be 6 months? So it staggers, does that make sense?
Correct.
Okay, so we've all agreed on that. So I think what we would say to you is, go back and get the best 6-month rate. And as far as I'm concerned, either JP Morgan or Lakeland, I would be fine with. I would like it to be something other than TD. So that.
They didn't respond, but we were thinking the same thing, that we,
Yeah.
obviously we're trying to diversify here,
Yeah.
so I'm not sure we would have gone there, but I would have, but they actually did respond.
And a couple of percentage points isn't gonna break us for the cost.
And,
of
Yeah, the only other comment I would want to make is that it's, we're talking about obviously getting the best rates we possibly can, which is great. But compared to where we had started from, this is
we're
just,
golden.
I mean, this
Oh
is
my
like
gosh.
something like what,
Night and day.
three times
Exactly.
some of it, so. But, so I don't think either one of these decisions are going to be, I think they're great decisions.
So if you can go back and
Definitely.
do the voodoo
Exactly.
and try and squeeze a couple of points out of it.
And I'll probably call all of them and use Jim's line. Give us you can do better, right?
Yeah.
You can do better. I'll guilt them, sure.
They can say no, that's all.
Exactly. I'm a Catholic, I know how to do it, so, okay, great. That's super.
All right.
So we'll do this in a motion now, right? We should have this.
Yeah, and I just want to clarify, so, because, in the beginning, we were trying to feeling our way here, we're trying to decide on the product. What you've done the last few investments we've made is you've said, invest X dollars for X months at the best rate you can get. That way you're not boxing us in, so if I make some calls and one comes at the top here that isn't on top now, so that's what I'd say, if you make a motion authorizing us to make an investment of $350,000 for 6 months.
Well, I would say so, but I would also caveat that and say, preferably not TD Bank. Even if they come back the best,
Yes.
I would rather give up a few, my opinion.
Right.
I'd rather give up-
No, I
At least not until some of the other larger investments with them come mature.
Yes.
So there's a motion to move $1 million out of the checking account into a 6-month CD at the highest rate we can achieve from the banks that responded, with that not being TD Bank to help diversify our portfolio.
Great.
I made the motion.
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
3 ayes, motion carries. Very good. We are tabling the checking account, health insurance as well on this, but credit card policy, I'd like to go over that, and I have one other item. The credit card policy, I believe, is in the last page here. You may recall that we had our audit, our annual audit with PKF O'Connor Davies. Of course, they did their presentation here, and one of their comments was a recommendation that we establish a standalone credit card policy. So PKF actually offered us 3 options. We reviewed those with Shannon and with her feedback, and quite frankly, we kept it simple. There were more complex policies. We thought this really suited our needs. So I don't know if you've had a chance to review that, but we're really looking for your approval. And then we would for your recommendation to take it to the board for full approval.
I just wanted to, for the purchase order guidelines of anything over $1,000, is that going to be, that shouldn't be an issue for you?
No, we really just need to document it essentially, so with a purchase order. So no, we don't think that that's overly onerous. And for any purchases like that, especially with the oversight that, you know, we've called for, I think that's in line. Yeah, that's why we
I was
suppose
going to
that.
say maybe it needs to be more, was what I'm saying, for exact handcuffing.
Oh, I see, for the $1,000?
Yes, that's my only question. I mean, so, that's it. But that's something that, listen, if it runs into an issue, that's something we can take a look at
Yeah.
afterwards if we wanted to, but we,
I prefer to be a little more stringent.
okay.
I appreciate that, though you don't want to, you know, handcuff us in that regard, but if it becomes an issue, let's revisit it.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to approve the credit card policy attached as per the auditor and reviewed by our accountants.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
I have one other item that wasn't on the agenda, timing wise, it's something that I felt we had to really address this month instead of waiting. There we go, thank you. These are all signed, just one copy if these want to look at this. But I've been working with Upstate Capital, with Venture Hub, with a consortium out of SUNY New Paltz and working with SUNY Orange on the cannabis sector, really trying to grow that. And Upstate Capital is a venture capitalist, angel investor type network. That's one of a few groups like that I've worked with for several years in economic development. It's just an essential component of economic development, getting private investors to invest in startups and in companies that are accelerating here locally. Upstate Capital is a great group. Noah Simons is their executive director. Worked with her for quite a bit. She's a tremendous professional, really well respected. While they're looking to partner on this seed to market summit, which is, as it says on the flag here, exploring opportunities in the New York State cannabis ecosystem. They're going to host it at the Warwick Tech Park, of course, which the IDA is responsible for. You recall one of the kind of like the signature renovation project, refurbishment projects there was the dairy barn that became Urban Extracts, and it's a CBD extraction facility. So they're going to host the event there. They're going to have a whole component on the story of the Warwick Tech Park. I'm going to actually moderate a panel on that, and they were looking for us to be one of the major sponsors of this. There are a couple other sponsors, including Urban Extracts themselves and Venture Hub. But they're asking us to be one of the premier sponsors at $5,000. The timing, I think, is excellent because Green Thumb Industries, GTI, otherwise known as Fiorello, one of this new board's one of our first approvals. It's a 450,000 square foot cannabis manufacturing and processing facility right out there in the green fields of the former prison site. Again, all made possible because of the IDA's investment in the infrastructure there. GTI just finished completion of that facility, and they're going to do a grand opening. We're coordinating with the county executive's office and such in the next month or so. And they're a major party. So Rebecca Brown, who actually appeared several times before the IDA, at the bottom there, VP of Government Strategy at GTI. Continue to work with her closely. She's also going to be highlighted here. So I just think it's great, Tommy. I'd like to support the event. I'd like to underscore what we did in Warwick. So I'm going to ask you and the board to consider us being a premier sponsor for this event that's coming up in September 20th.
And they're looking to do, what are they looking for? What are they, I mean, what the event?
So the event is attracting investors, again, angel investors, venture capitalists, certainly business leaders and entrepreneurs. It's something that frankly is a more regional type of activity. It's like a lot of things, I'm big on drawing the tech sector. Well, I just said this in a meeting with Central Hudson yesterday. We're much stronger as a region. We have to act as a region in Mid-Hudson, really, because in some cases, in some regards, we don't have kind of the critical mass just on our own in Orange County, and I think that's the case here. Certainly we don't have our own angel network. There's Hudson Valley Startup Fund was one that we worked with. Upstate Capital's another one, a very well-respected one. So it's really trying to shine a light on investment of startup and growing companies, and highlighting Orange County as the center of that, and with the focus on cannabis, really highlighting the leadership that we've shown in that regard, and especially the IDA and its vision and foresight with making a significant investment of $3.5 million. Like a reminder, we recouped $3 million of that, but and it's a great chance for people to come out and see what's happened out at the tech park that, again, you know, we've played such a big role in, and focusing on the cannabis industry and just really how we're a center for that in the Mid-Hudson. So it's something I'm really glad that we're going to be a part of. It's going to be well promoted, and you know, I would like to be one of the host sponsors, you know, for this. But certainly up to, you know, any questions or feedback from you.
With what's going on in the news about us lately, what's your feeling on the public perception of seeing Orange County IDA supporting something like this?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, but you know, I'm very straightforward with that stuff. I have no concern about that. It's something, it's legal for us to do, it's appropriate. This is something we put a major investment in. It's almost like shovel ready. If we, you know, when we get to a project there, we do something, if there's an event where it's going to be highlighted and we wanted to either be a part of hosting that or sponsoring it or something, I think that's absolutely a wise investment. It's really just, it's an investment in highlighting, creating some positive news about what we're doing, but that's not the intent of it, but that's just the benefit of it. It's one of the reasons I'd want to sponsor, but I don't think there's any perception issues except for people that want to just have a negative perception about us, and, you know, we know who they intend to be. But no, I don't think that's an issue. Though a great question.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have a problem. I mean, we really need to, I think you're correct, we need to highlight some of these, you know, some of the projects that we've done and are successful. That's a fantastic facility. A lot of local people worked on it and continue to work there, so I'm fine with it. I'll make the motion for that unless,
Mark,
Mark,
Well, you know, look, I don't like cannabis. I don't like it, I just don't like it.
I understand.
But, you know, it is legal, it is an industry, it is an opportunity. You're not gonna test any of these.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I don't.
Then, you know, look, I think, I really don't have any problem sponsoring this. You know, it's, you know, again, regardless of my personal feelings.
Sure.
Professional wise, you know, it is where we are, it is legal, and it is, you know, hopefully an opportunity for our state, regardless of my personal feelings.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
The whole reason, if I could be just to respond to that, is of course the job creation opportunities. GTI is going to have a number of six-figure jobs. That's why I'm saying into cannabis.
Yeah.
I'm into it as an industry sector because it's in the life sciences sector. It's R&D. They're high-paying jobs, and that's the whole reason we want to be in it. So I do understand a number of people obviously have mixed, you know, kind of misgivings about it, but it's a real business, as you said. I think the stigma is going to slowly erode, especially from a business perspective. I just think it's a great opportunity for the county. I just want to see us right at the heart of it.
Yeah, I completely understand as well. I mean, Mark, I'm a little back and forth with it, but it is, as you said, it is legal and it is an industry, and other states and counties, whatever, are profiting from it. And if you're not going to be in it, then you're going to be losing out on work opportunities and all that goes along with it. So with that, I'll make the motion to be a premier sponsor at $5,000 to the C2 Market Summit. So,
Okay. Dean? Second by Mark.
All in favor? Aye.
Thanks very much. That's it for the agenda, unless there's anything else.
Yeah, and you'll obviously, you would be attending this, obviously, because there's feedback after.
Yes, absolutely.
Adjourn.
I didn't write the credit card policy that, who made the motion. Do you have all that, Marty? Just want to make sure we have all that.
I have Dean and Mr. Green.
Yeah, sure.
I had that for the sponsorship, that's the same for the credit card policy? Okay, thank you. Thank you. That's it for Finance Committee.
And I'll make a motion to adjourn the Finance Committee meeting at 5:15. Second?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Very good, thank you.